This is number 55 in Chapter 5 review, where we are asked to solve the equation. And we see that what we have is a radical in our equation. So with these radical equations, the first thing we always wanted to do was to get the radical all by itself on one side of the equal sign. And it already is. So because of that, what we can do to eliminate the radical is we can just square it. But of course we have to square the other side as well. Well, when you square the square root of 2x, you get 2x. When you square x minus 4, you have to remember that that's like taking x minus 4 and multiplying it by x minus 4. So we have to FOIL that. First times first is x squared. Outside times outside is minus 4x. Inside times inside is also minus 4x. So together they're minus 8x. And last times last is plus 16. So now it's obviously a quadratic equation, and we can see that because the highest degree on any x is 2. So when solving quadratic equations, we need to get it equal to 0. So we'll need to subtract 2x from both sides. And by doing so, we'll have 0 is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 16. Now we'd like to factor that, which isn't very difficult to do. We know we need to look for two numbers that multiplied together equal 16, but added equal negative 10x. Well, we know if they multiply together and have a positive product, then they must have the same sign. And since the sum needs to be negative, then we know that both of them must be negative. Well, the two numbers that multiplied together equal 16, but added equal negative 10, are negative 8 and negative 2. So now we have two things multiplied together. If either of those two things was 0, then we would get a product of 0. So for this first binomial, if you replaced the x with 8, you would get 8 minus 8 is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. In the second one, if you replaced x with 2, you would have 2 minus 2, and that would be 0, and 0 times anything is 0. Now with the radical equations, though, we really must check to be sure they work in the original equation. So if you come back up here to our original equation in black, not before we squared, if you are checking to see if 8 works, then you would replace every x with 8. 2 times 8 is 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. On the other side of the equal sign, 8 minus 4 is 4. So that works. That's one of our solutions. Let's check to see if 2 works as well. So if you replace the x with 2, you'd have the square root of 2 times 2, which is square root of 4, or 2. If you substitute 2 into the other side, you get 2 minus 4 is negative 2. The two sides don't come out equal to one another, so 2 is what we call an extraneous solution. We do not list it as one of our solutions. The only solution here is 8.